Welcome back to the Finer Details, where today we're going to be going over my top 10 finer details from the Hitman 2016 maps. Now that we've covered all 6 of the maps and any side missions, I want to just go over the top 10, just because I think there's quite a few good bits to go over, and I just want to showcase what I think were the best ones, really. They're going to be in no particular order, and I'm just going to talk a bit about each one, so yeah, let's get started. The first one that I wanted to talk about featured on the Bangkok map and was the La Cucaracha Exterminator Easter egg. This featured heading up to the recording studio and playing the keyboard in the back while dressed as the Exterminator. While not the most difficult of Easter eggs because it's not a trespassing zone once you clear the area, it's definitely a fun little tune to be able to have played out in what's normally a more serious tone such as the Hitman games. The added reward of having a little cockroach hanging along in the background definitely adds to that as well. And also the in-game challenge, which provides some mastery XP as well. It's definitely a cool thing to play about with the assets of the map while making use of things that are in the area and disguises that are often not as well used. The next one that I want to talk about featured on the Colorado map, and it was the Burning Scarecrow Easter egg. This one involved shooting the 4 bells around the outside of the map, which then caused 47 to be able to cause the people he went near to spontaneously burst into flames. This was a good one because it affects the gameplay of the map while also being able to just cause a little bit of chaos in the game if you want to as well, if you didn't feel like playing stealthily. It's not too difficult of a one to pull off. The hardest part of it probably is finding the Scarecrow disguise and then getting to the water tower. But being able to smuggle a sniper rifle into there makes it a lot easier. It's just fun to be able to cause a little bit of chaos around the map, really. Definitely enjoyed it. The next one I want to talk about, also featured on the Colorado map, was the secret exit for the map involving the dinosaur in the hacker room. This was a cool one that involved feeding dinosaur on the shelf here 10 apricots while holding the hallucinogenic drugs from one of the shed. Both these being items that usually in the map aren't of much use, the apricots normally just as a distraction and the drugs as an intel item. For it to then be used as a secret exit, which involved 47 going vroom vroom as he rides out the map, definitely takes a more fun approach to the map, rather than the traditional serious nature of the game. What also makes it fun is how monotone 47 sounds when riding the dinosaur. You can tell he's having such a fun time. Next up we're going to Sapienza landslide, where we're going to talk to this gentleman right here. This gentleman we can cause to jump off the edge of the pier when we trigger him with the radio. It's a very cool way to be able to cause an unfortunate demise of an NPC in a very creative way where normally you'd just use the base resources like a gun or a knife or something like that. It also helps to build a really cool backstory around the characters of the map. The fact that he's gone from being broken up with his wife by the target of the map to then being driven so insane and upset by the radio that he leads to jumping himself off the edge of the pier. The next one on the list is generally going to be all the out of bounds stuff evolved around Sapienza, ranging from the invisible interactions with the fireplaces, right way through to just generally anything that was in the out of bounds section and how they've saved resources by taking out the buildings of the underground cave facility. It was definitely interesting to see all of these different places, how they're not normally meant to be, and when you're not meant to be able to see them as well. And just to generally see how things work under the hood, really. The next one we're moving on to is in Hokkaido, and it is the Ninjas Easter egg, where you have to shoot the 10 ninjas around the map in order to make the volcano erupt. It's definitely a cool one to be able to go around exploring the map, and it's definitely a challenge being able to get some of the ones that are in the more hidden locations like up the tree. However, it's definitely a good reward that you're able to see around the map during a playthrough. However, it's one of these that you don't really want to do any more than one time because it doesn't change any differently from time to time, really. It's Still just a cool challenge to have, and definitely good to make use of the background scenery as well, I think. The next one we have is on the Sapienza landslide mission, and was involved in the advertising board for the lawyer of the map, Salvatore Buemo. Normally, a lot of people reference it because of obviously the lawyer being involved with the map. However, as far as I know, nobody had mentioned the address on the bottom, which was the Piazzale Aldenoro, which, when put into Google Maps, actually brings up the same address as you get for the place called Sapienza in Rome, the Sapienza University. It's definitely an interesting one because the places in Hitman 3 are meant to be fictional, so for them to use an address of a place in real life that shares the name definitely gives the idea of potentially where the name of the place came from. We're going to stay in Sapienza for the next one and go to the Icon mission, where we're going to talk about L'Aventura Pictures, which was the cool double meaning that was on the map. L'Aventura being obviously a reference of Universal and their logo with the stars on it, but also being the same as the 1960s film being based off the coast of Italy, with Italy also being where Sapienza came from. Not a lot of people will have heard the movie, so for them to share that name with it as well as the logo for Universal was definitely a good double use. Next Easter egg we're going to talk about is in the Marrakesh map and with the school area. This one involved getting in the disguise we had here and clearing out some of the guards of the area, then activating the radio in the school classroom. This led to the guards around the area, both those told to go away and still on duty, to start dancing, which is definitely a very cool detail. It's a very easy way to get rid of half the guards around the area, which makes it clearing the area a lot easier. And it's also interesting to see how such a serious military organisation such as this is able to let their hair down slightly. It's a shame the prisoner doesn't get involved with the dance, but hey, what else are you meant to do? General Zaydan also gets involved, which means it's an easy way to deal with the target there. This dude also doesn't get involved for some reason, I don't know why. But yeah, a nice easy way to get rid of the target and do a couple of challenges at the same time. The final one I have in my top 10 is in Marrakesh in a consular area, which involves this dude on the ground floor who's building a chair, and also talking about the instructions while he's doing it. The various different talks and words he describes it as definitely gives him a resemblance to IKEA, and it's definitely saying what we're all thinking with the instructions sometimes. Because let's be honest, when building flat pack furniture, some of the pictures and some of the icons in there can be a bit weird, and definitely fun to see them poking fun at that. Not for the first time either.
There he is. So, on to assembly, right? Okay. Naked guy is... What is he doing? He's got stomach cramps?
Okay.
That was my top 10 of the finer details from Hitman 2016. If you got any that you preferred, leave them below in the comments. I'd love to see what you think. And if you want to check out the full videos, they are in the playlist on the channel. Next up, we'll be moving on to Hitman 2 and all of the maps there. These maps are a lot bigger, so there's probably a lot more to them. So be sure to like and subscribe for more and those, and I will see you in the next one.